All right. We are officially live and we're bringing you the crossover event that absolutely no one asked for, but we're doing it anyway. This is being simulcast live on my channel, Action Integrator, as well as Chris W's channel, Five Idiots Talking Toys. And hopefully that's coming through okay. We got Shane Davidson in the background for Five Idiots Talking Toys. So hopefully it's appearing fine on both. And I want to welcome in the man, the myth, the legend, a good buddy of mine, Chris W. from Five Idiots Talking Toys. And more importantly, for this live stream, Rogue Five Toys on Facebook. And Chris, how are you today?
What's up, John? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you helping me out with this.
Well, I think most people already know just from the promos and everything that you just picked up an incredible vintage Kenner Star Wars collection, some modern stuff too. But for the purposes of this video, I wanted to. I mean, to me, this is a once in a lifetime type of haul. I mean, it's a pretty incredible haul. And we've got 18 people watching right now. So thanks to everyone who is on. Let's just do some hellos first of all. Norbert S., good buddy of mine, Patreon supporter. Do we get a better deal if we praise the appearance of the two hosts? If so, what are the specifics for that? So thank you, Norbert. I am quite good looking and very courageous. I'll say that. Keith Guppy says, very much looking forward to this. Any chance of a live auction? I'm going to defer to Chris on that, so we'll see on that one. Paul B., any shipping recommend? I mean, this is probably not the live stream to answer some of these questions, but David S. has joined us. Five Idiots Talking Toys. We're good. All right. So we are simulcast. Awesome. Thank you, Shane, for setting this up. Rob Chewbacca Toys. Love you, Rob. How are you, man? James Gunther. We got Mike H. We got Matthew Baracco, Brett on Fett, Michael Albertson, good buddy of mine and Patreon supporter. Now that's when you know that you have a spending problem, Michael, when you start having dreams about little plastic dolls.
Well, I got to tell you, I had a dream about this collection too, but it was more like a nightmare.
Yeah, well, it was a nightmare, and we're going to get into the story for how you picked this up and everything in a second. But I want to also preemptively thank those of you watching on the replay. That's right, I'm preemptively thanking you. It's like Minority Report with the pre-crime division, except it's with little plastic dolls. So thank you for those who are watching it after the fact. Eric Benner is on. Eric, how are you, buddy? All right, Chris. Well, this, I mean, I cannot believe some of these items. I mean, this is a pretty incredible story that we have to talk about here. So I'm going to turn it over to you and give us a little background on how this deal came together. You don't have to talk numbers. You don't have to talk names, but tell us a little story.
Yeah. So basically, I want to say about a month ago, a guy reached out to me about purchasing his collection. And I've done some business with him before. I've met him before in the past. And he said it was a very large collection and it was going to take him like quite some time to put a list together with some pictures and stuff. So he sent me over this like ridiculously large collection where it took me. Now, normally it takes me like an hour or two to go over something. This one took over a week because there was just so much. There was so much stuff between vehicles, play sets, mocks. I've never encountered stuff like this before in my life. So there was a lot of research that I even had to do myself just to.
Well, Chris, I saw the spreadsheets that you were dealing with, and I said it out loud now by myself. I said, what in the holy F is going on? I mean, it was just an incredible pile of stuff. So, all right, back to you.
Now, meanwhile, while this is happening, I'm already working on two other very large deals at the same time. So when this one came on in my head, I'm just like, I don't know if I have time for this. Like, there's a lot of moving pieces involved. So basically, he sent out the spreadsheet. It was about a total of 4 or 5 guys that got it, and it was pretty much whoever had like the highest bid will win. But the problem was that he needed it to come and get picked up within days afterwards. So
and he was located where?
He's all the way on the West Coast. Let's just put it that way. So he's complete opposite of where I live.
And you're in New York.
I'm in New York. So, for me to go all the way there and come back, it's just it was a lot. With 2 little kids, I have a pregnant wife at home. So I want to say like it was last Monday night. I pretty much gave him an offer. Tuesday we finalized it, and then Tuesday night I booked a flight out for Friday morning all the way out to the West Coast. So the plan was that I was going to fly one way there. I was going to rent a truck and then
Oh,
drive home like 36 hours because I think it was 2,600 miles to get back home.
oh my God. Now I want to also mention this is that you originally asked me to join you on this trek, correct?
That is correct. Yes, I said I'll come pick you up halfway, and you can come join me.
Now I told my wife this, and I was like, "Look, my wife Liz, I really don't want to do this because I'm old, and it'll take 2 weeks to recover for driving, whatever it was. I think you talked to me flying out there with you, and then driving all the way back, stopping here,
Yeah,
resting for a day or two, and then you driving off back to New York. And I the thought of it gave me chills
I
thinking
was
about having
trying
to
to
do that.
do anything to get you to come with me, to at least have somebody to come with me, so I didn't have to do this by myself. So
Now, what did you end up doing? What did you end up doing?
so I booked my flight for Friday morning, and I want to say it's like Wednesday night. And one of like my high school friends, one of my best friends for the last 30 something years, he lives in the same town as me. He called me up and he said like, what's going on? And I told him the story, and he was like, I'll go with you. Like right away, I'll go with you. And he has 2 kids also. He works, and I go, his name is Sean. I go, Sean, how are you gonna do that? And he's like, well, I'll take off of work, and if you just like pay me for like the day's pay and help me get out there, like I'll take a ride with you and I'll split the driving duties with you. And I'm like, so right away now I'm all happy, I'm pumped, because the plan was I was going to drive 36 hours home, but I knew that I was only going to do about 12 hours or so a day, and then I was going to stop to sleep. But the problem is I can't go to a hotel with the amount of stuff
No.
I had. I had to sleep in the truck because I'm not leaving my stuff out at nighttime in the middle of a weird state that I've never been in before. So
Well, just the thought of you like spending the night in a hotel and then waking up the next morning and finding the truck not there,
yes.
that's terrifying. That's very terrifying. So
So basically, for everyone to know, like a Suburban, a minivan with the seats folded down, none of that would have fit all this. I had to get one of those big cargo vans from top to bottom that was like 8 feet high. And even then it barely fit. Like we were to the back door where I had to squish stuff in just to fit it all.
oh
So
my gosh.
my
Oh.
friend agreed to come with me. I booked him a flight. He flew out Friday morning with me. So now we're leaving. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. What?
I was gonna say now I want to clarify this. So you paid for his flight out to the West Coast, and you also paid for a day of missed work
And then
before.
yes, and then I also gave him money on top of that for coming with me, and helping me out, because for me, it's more of a favor for me that I'm not doing this alone, because it's a long drive, like 36 hours in the car. The things that you start thinking to yourself and driving in the middle of nowhere, it was just crazy.
I think halfway through the ride, you said, "I'm in Iowa," and I said, just, I started sending you like emojis of like
Yeah.
corn, nothing but cornfields and a car driving through cornfields. That's what I pictured in my mind of you carrying this many valuable toys through Iowa. I mean, it was just crazy.
It actually pissed me off so much that I stopped opening your messages, because I'm looking at my phone and it shows I have 20 more hours left to go, and I was just miserable thinking about it. So we fly out Friday morning. We're 2 hours into the trip. All of a sudden, over the PA system, they said, we're making an emergency stop in Milwaukee. There's someone on the plane who is in distress. I'm like, what?
I forgot about this. Yeah, go into detail here. Go into detail about this person, because you were telling me about it as you landed in Milwaukee.
So there was a lady that came on the plane, and she had a service dog. The service dog was this big. It was a Yorkie. It probably weighed about 3.5 pounds. So I don't really think it was a real service dog, but who knows? So apparently she has bad anxiety and like she panics a lot. So 2 hours into the flight, she starts taking her cell phone out and she's like screaming on the phone to somebody, but there's like no one there. And she just starts talking to herself. Then she took all of her clothes out of her carry-on and started flushing them down the toilet bowl in the bathrooms. So now she's clogging the bathrooms up on the plane. So they had no choice but to do an emergency stop in Milwaukee. And again, that's never happened to me before. So in my head, I'm thinking to myself, this was the worst decision I've ever made in my life. My friend is so mad at me right now because he's like, we're going to get stuck here, right? Because in Milwaukee, where we stopped and where we're going, there's no direct flight to where we are going. It's a very small airport, at least at Milwaukee where we are. So already we're like, we have to stay overnight, like all this stuff. Long story short, they boarded us all off the plane. We had to take all of our stuff with us. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, now I'm stuck in Milwaukee. I don't even know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. They had to get maintenance on the plane to unclog the toilet bowls and all this stuff. So they ended up doing all that. They let us back on the plane. We ended up flying out. It ended up being good. It was like a 3-4 hour delay. So nothing too crazy.
Wow. Hey, I want to say thanks to Darth. Hey, real quick, I want to say thanks to Darth Wizzy Wizard for the super chat. Appreciate you, bud. That's nice of you. So, I mean, just right there alone, we haven't even gotten to you arriving at the toys yet.
No.
And so you paid for your friend's flight. You paid for his missed day of work. You paid for extra. And on the way out there, some crazy lady decided to go a little bit nuts and start flushing clothes down the toilet in the airplane bathroom.
Yeah.
Is that a pretty good summary so far?
So far, that's pretty much accurate. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you were able to get back on the flight?
So they actually let us back on the flight only because that airport does not go direct to where we had to go. So pretty much they were going to leave everyone there hanging, and they couldn't do that. So they got the plane back. We ended up flying out where we had to go. It was about a 4-hour delay, 3-hour delay altogether. So now I get there. I have to go to an Enterprise to pick up a cargo van, this huge cargo van. Like I said, it's like 8 feet high. And I'm driving this thing, and this thing is so awkward. In my head, I go, how am I driving this thing 36 hours home? Because if anyone knows anything about like New York and Jersey, once you get close to there, you can't drive on highways and parkways in a truck. You can't go on certain bridges and stuff. They give you a certain path to take because you're not allowed to have a van or a truck on certain areas. So I'm already like, this is just, I wanted to dump the truck and just fly back. I was just so pissed off. So I get to this guy's house and I'm looking inside, and there's just like walls and walls of stuff. It ended up being 30 extra large boxes from Home Depot. So if you've ever been to Home Depot and it's those extra large boxes, there's about 30 of them. And then there's 3 wardrobe boxes that are like 6 feet tall, like a wardrobe box, all filled with stuff. So, and now we have to go through this one by one to kind of make sure that A, everything's all there, and B, you don't send pictures of this to somebody. You kind of show some, and then you go there and you do this all in person. So I'm there for like 4 or 5 hours looking through this stuff. And after the long day that I've already had, my head is killing me. I know I'm hopping in the car right now and driving home 36 hours. I just wanted to get the hell out of there.
The pure dread of that, of knowing that you've gone through all that already, and then knowing you still got to drive 36 hours straight without stopping in a hotel.
Yeah.
How did you go about? I mean, to me, it'd be really difficult to quickly value all this stuff and make sure that you want to be fair to the seller, but it's a little bit of a risk that you're taking here.
Oh, it's 100% a risk. And, my wife wasn't happy about it. The fact that I did this 3 days, in advance where I wasn't going to be home. The amount of money I spent is pretty much, I don't know, you could buy a house in some states with it. So she wasn't happy about it. Driving home with all the stuff, she wasn't happy. There was nothing that she was happy about. Nothing. Which I don't blame her.
Do wives of collectors... are they happy anyway when a package arrives at your door, or much less bringing, hey, honey, I just brought home a U-Haul, freight truck full of items. How are you doing pregnant, and how are the 2 kids doing while I've been gone for 3 days?
A 4-year-old and a 20-month-old. So,
man, you gotta remember her. You got to remember her when it comes to Mother's Day next year.
Well, so this is the other part of the story. So after I buy all the Star Wars stuff, I get everything in the truck. The truck is filled to the top. He comes walking downstairs with Louis Vuitton bags. He has 5 Louis Vuitton bags with 4 wallets, different buckles, and like a scarf. Now, I don't know anything about Louis Vuitton. I just know it's worth money. So he goes, I'm looking to get rid of these 2. Do you want them? And I said, all right, how much? So he gave me like a price for all the bags and the walls. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, I can give these to my wife and now she'll be happy. She won't be mad at me.
So smart. You're brilliant. You're brilliant.
So I end up spending like an extra $3-4 grand now on these bags and wallets, and I have no clue about, just to have it to give to her when we got home, thinking, you know, this will lighten the load a little bit when I walk in the door. So
that was so smart, man.
So basically, like I said, I'm not going to tell you where I started off the ride, but we get into the car at 7 o'clock at night and we're driving home. And now it's like all throughout the night. I'm driving through Nebraska. I'm driving through, well, first I'm driving through like Wyoming. I'm driving through Nebraska. I'm driving through Iowa. Then it's like Iowa, it's Indiana, it's Ohio. I'm passing so many states. I've never been through any of these states in my life. It's just cornfield after cornfield in Nebraska and Iowa. All I see is just corn on the side of the road for like 19 hours straight.
America's heartland, man.
And the one good thing about it is it's only one straight road. It's I-80. So I-80 pretty much goes from Jersey all the way, like, I think to like San Francisco. So I'm on the same parkway, which definitely helped out. I know people like get bored by that, but I was happy that I didn't have to get off anywhere. So I get into the car at 7 o'clock at night to start the drive. I drive 8 hours straight. So now it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And now when you're out there, there's no gas stations. Like if you miss a gas station, the next one says you have 74 miles until, you know, you have 74 miles until you reach the next gas station. So you have to make sure that you don't go below a quarter because you need to get gas. So I switch off at like 3 o'clock in the morning. My friend ends up driving 12 hours straight till 3 o'clock in the afternoon Saturday.
Were you able to sleep at all in the truck?
So the thing about me and even with him is that I can't sleep in like a moving vehicle. So like I might have closed my eyes for about 30 seconds, but the minute you hit a bump or something, I wake up. So I'm awake the whole time. He's awake the whole entire time. We're driving home now. There's a really bad car accident on I-80. They get us off. We're in Iowa. They get us off the I-80. I am driving around in the back streets of Iowa. It's just fields and fields of corn and like these big water towers everywhere.
Well, and Jeff said you also get pigs. Can't forget that smell.
Didn't see any pigs while I was flying by.
Corn and cows.
So now we're off. God. Now we're off. We're driving around the back streets of Iowa. And again, I'm looking at the thing and you got 16 hours more to go to get home. And I'm just like, what am I doing? This is terrible. Like, I'm telling you right now, like my friend, he wanted me to drop him off at any airport so he can fly home and just leave me because he was so pissed.
Well, I remember back in my investment banking days when I was doing like, finance stuff. One time I stayed up like 54 hours straight without sleeping, and your eye muscles get so tired that they start separating, and because they can't stay focused. And so eventually you have to start going like this, with one eye in order to look at the computer. Did you ever resort to the one eye?
Well, before this, I was an operating engineer. I was an operating engineer for 19 years, and I worked nights. So I always worked 11 at night to 7 in the morning before I quit my job last year. But we would do 24-hour shifts, 32-hour shifts, like weekly. And I think you remember that, where I would call you on a Friday and tell you I'm not coming home till Monday. That was like a main reason why I ended up leaving that job, because I have kids at home, and it was just
it was terrible.
The money was absolutely great, but to do 24-hour shifts and 30-hour shifts constantly per week, it was a lot. But
I want to say thank you really quickly to Keith Guppy, good friend of mine and my very first Patreon supporter. He just gave us a super chat. So thank you, Keith. That was kind of you, man.
So I'm totally used to staying up for long periods of time. So, we're driving, we're not stopping. We are only stopping for gas and for drinks. We're not eating any food. He already told me, he said, Chris, we're not getting food. I don't care if you want a sandwich. I don't care if you want McDonald's. We're not stopping. And I'm like, Sean, why can't we stop? It's 36 hours. I'm gonna get hungry. He's like, because if you get hungry, you have to go to the bathroom, and I'm not doing this. He goes, we're in the middle of nowhere, and I'm not just gonna like hide somewhere or hide. I'm reading the message. I'm not just gonna drive somewhere and look for a gas station so you can go to the bathroom. So we legitimately didn't eat for the first 30 hours of the trip. It was like granola bars.
Hey, I want to say thank you also to David. Wow, that was really generous, David. David just gave me a super chat for $10. David is a long-time watcher and commenter on the channel, man. I just got my Moff Gerard figures and speeder bike with Grogu from Big Bad Toy Store, and I just paid for my Boba. Wow, that was expensive. The Boba Fett throne room from Hasbro Pulse. Me and Fett Bib Fortuna that comes in that Boba Fett throne room. We're kindred spirits, man. I used to look like that. I'll tell you that. Love your videos. Great job. Thank you, David. That's really kind of you. I don't know what I just did there, but there we go. All right. Thank you so much. And we got another super chat from Kevin Confer. Wow, Kevin, thank you so much, man. Mike H says, you drove through Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
I picture one of those M. Night Shyamalan movies where it's like, creepy children staring at you as you try to sleep.
So it's funny that he mentioned that. So me and my friend Sean, we're really big into horror. So now that Halloween's coming, like we love horror movies. And we go to the movies once a week to see any horror movies that come out from in the past that they re-release or just new ones. So while we're driving through Nebraska and Iowa, we're thinking like, I wonder where they shot Children of the Corn, because it had to be somewhere around here. Like, especially when we were in the back streets of Iowa and we were completely lost. We had no clue where we were going. That's what we were thinking of, was Children of the Corn. Just seeing a group of kids with these big, like, pitchforks trying to, like, kill us.
Well, so in the end, you made it back safe. Is that correct?
So in the end, we drove straight home. It took us 35 hours. I want to say I got home Sunday morning at 7:30 in the morning. So from Friday night at 7 to Sunday 7:30. So what's that? 36 and a half hours.
I mean, I bet you felt like death. Bet you felt like death.
Yeah, because we kept switching on and off. So I think total I did 16 hours of driving and he did 20.
Oh, well, see, he earned his keep then. I mean,
So,
the fact that you paid him.
You see me, like I shave my arms. I've always shaved my body. My friend has really hairy arms and legs. So when he was driving on the last night, Sunday morning, to get us home, he was pulling out the hair of his leg to keep him awake because it was hurting him. So he was plucking out hairs to keep him awake. John, when I got out of the car, I will show you a picture. There was a pile of leg hair just sitting on the side. It was so disgusting. It wasn't even funny.
That is disgusting. Wampa Slap also just gave a super chat. Thank you, Wampa. That was really kind of you, man. That's really gross. I mean, that reminds me of my fingernail collection I had going at one point, where every time I clipped my fingernails, I kept it in a little glass vial.
Yeah,
and then my wife said, "This is disgusting. I'm throwing this away." But
yeah, you belong on one of those creepy horror movies too.
Yeah, well, this is like, it's a little bit. Where is it here? Jeff said Field of Dreams. So this is a case as if you drive all that way, people will come to Rogue 5 Toys. And as we're getting ready to show off some of the items that Chris picked up here, but in the video description for this video, there is a link to the Facebook group. And sales have already started. Well, I'll let you talk about that in a second, Chris. But sales have already started. They're starting to trickle out. Chris is listing stuff. And it's basically, for those of you who are not on Facebook, it's probably worth setting up a burner account just to join Facebook and join the group. So make sure to look in the video description to join Rogue 5 Toys. And Chris, tell us how the process is working in terms of how you're selling this stuff.
So, like I said, I got home Sunday morning, and I crashed. I went to sleep. I spent some time with my family. Now, in my house, I have a fourth bedroom upstairs. That's where my collection was. That's where I put all of my new stuff that comes in. My wife is pregnant, so now it's going to be the new baby's room. I don't have anywhere to put any of this stuff. So right now it is in the master bedroom, piled up around our bed. Like that's our
Oh,
bed.
dude, you better be glad you got those
My
Louis
wife,
Vuitton back.
my wife is sleeping with an Imperial shuttle on the bench in front of the bed right now. So I
Oh my
just
God.
all I did was set up areas around there. There's just boxes everywhere. There's some Louis Vuitton. So right now I have stuff in the garage, I have stuff in the bedroom, and then I have stuff in the spare bedroom, but it's being turned into a nursery, so it's being worked on. There's just stuff everywhere. So anyone that asks me for questions on prices and condition and whatever, I don't know yet because I haven't gotten to it. I'm literally just opening up a box, taking everything out of that one box, taking pictures, putting it back in, and then going to box number 2. There's 30 boxes of extra large. There's 3 wardrobe boxes. So I'm trying to go as fast as I possibly can, but it's only been 3 days since I've been back, and I'm still recovering from the freaking car ride because that thing was dreadful.
Well, let's nip this in the bud right now. So TB asks, Christopher, can I PM you with a bunch of questions about the new collection, including private sales? So I think it's important that we get this information out there because I don't think that folks realize, number one, well, now they realize how the effort that you went through to get this collection. I mean, this was a massive undertaking. But number two, there's just so much stuff, and everyone is flooding your messages. So if you want to do a general disclaimer here, Chris, fire away.
Yeah, so I've actually been getting a lot of I'm not going to say hate messages. I've been getting a lot of angry messages from people because I don't sell privately. Everything I sell is publicly. If I sell to you or one of my really like my brother, I'll sell obviously privately. But for the most part, 99% of my sales are all publicly on the page. I try and give everyone a fair shot at getting the stuff. Now, I don't know what time things get listed because I'm home with my kids all day and I kind of just do things sporadically throughout the day. But that's why I just try and stay fair. There's over 2,000 members. I want stuff to be on the page so that everyone technically has a chance to get it. That's why I don't sell privately. It's just it's too much, and people are actually getting mad because I won't sell it. And I've given up higher offers and sold on the page for lower because I don't care. I want to sell on the page. I want there to be a record of it, and that's just the way I do my sales. So Todd,
Well, it's only fair. I get it. It's only fair. I mean, I have sold privately too, so I mean, I get both sides of it. And also, before I say anything else, I want to say thank you to Eric Default for a $10 super chat. That's way too generous of you, Eric. Thank you. You guys have been great. Eric's a good buddy of mine. He actually bought my Dengar 41E back, if memory serves, and that was a stunner. So I'm glad it went to a good home because I really like that Dengar. So congrats on that, Eric.
Eric's actually bought a lot of stuff for me too. I think he got some Power of the Force stuff for me, Eric. But yeah, so Todd's asking that question on purpose because I was venting to him last night about how annoyed I was getting about people just getting mad at me. But I'm actually going to see Todd next week. So I'm flying out to Nebraska on September 20th next week to do another collection. So Todd is actually going to pick me up at the airport. I am going to hang out with him for a little bit. He's going to come with me to the guy's house. So we're going to spend the day together. I'm not picking up the collection that time. I'm just going to look it over, and then I'm going to fly back home and then make plans to go back to pick it up. But I will be seeing Todd next week. So I figured I'd throw that.
Well, I saw photos of that collection, and there's some stunners in that one as well. So that's why, I mean, it's not like this is a one-time event on Rogue 5 Toys. You're always getting in new collections, and I send a lot of folks your way who are subscribers who are selling, and everyone's been super, super happy. And my only request is if you are a subscriber and you reach out to Chris, make sure you mention my name, okay? Because Chris, that way I can hold it over. I can hold it over Chris. Say, hey, Chris, remember? But no, there's a reason why I send a lot of folks your way because I want sellers to get a fair price for their items. And when you start accounting for taxes with eBay tax reporting and eBay fees and all that stuff versus you giving a fair price and having everything very, very transparent and on the table in terms of what's going on and the finances behind it. That's why I send folks your way. I've never had one negative complaint from any of my subscribers who have sold to you. They've always been super happy, and you've always been happy. So it's worked out great. It's the circle of life, the circle of collecting stupidity.
The last
right?
thing I want to do is to screw anyone over or take advantage of anyone. I'm not buying these collections looking to make 50 to 60%. I'm not doing that. I think it's great for the page. Honestly, it's fun for me to hold these items and go through them. It's for me, it's all fun. And you probably don't even want me to mention this, but I'm going to mention it anyway and probably get you annoyed. But even with this collection, the finances had to come together for me to do this very fast, like within 3 days. And if everyone knows, like when you're transferring money account to account and from here and you're taking stuff out, it doesn't clear right away. So there was 2 people that I had asked. I said, "Hey, can I borrow some money?" And it was, a lot of money. I asked my brother who
It was a lot of money.
I asked my brother who basically laughed at me and said, "I can't even give you $100 right now." So I said, "Okay, no problem." And then I pretty much went to John, and John right away, he had to do some moving around too, because, we don't have this stuff.
Yeah, it was all personal savings. I mean, these are like emergency fund type money. So
this is not laying under his mattress, but John came through to the clutch. He lent me some money to help put this all together for me.
Yeah, and I'll also say this to toot my own horn. I'm not asking for anything in return, because I know that you are the one doing all the work on this, okay? And the fact that you even, "Hey, John, if this stuff sells, you get to split the profits." And I said, "No, I don't want any of the profits from it." So I just feel like it was the right thing to do. And I told my wife this, at first I was like, there's no way I'm telling my wife how much I lent you. And then in the end, I told her, and she didn't bat an eye, because I had told her previously, like, if there's anybody in my life that I would, lend money to, it would definitely be you, because I just, I trust you like a brother. So I've got a couple of super, you guys have been way too generous here. Jeez. Michael Albertson just sent $20. Both of you deserve every penny I have. Make sure Chris gets some too. What a nightmare. And I'm sure that Michael, who is he's an active spender.
Yeah,
okay, I'll just leave it.
Michael donates enough.
He's greasing the wheels right now, so he can hopefully get some questions. Now I got a couple of other shout outs I got to give here, but I want to go back to a couple of questions, because I think it's important. Yes. Wampa Slap just also sent another $10. You are just way too kind, man. But both Wampa Slap and Rob Chewbacca asked, "Are there any graded items in this batch?" And I'll let you take it away from here.
Yeah. So to get into kind of specifics, I want to say there's about I showed some preview pictures on Rogue 5 Toys, and I want to say the pictures that I showed are only half the amount of items that I had actually received. There was just too much stuff and too many boxes, and just honestly just too much work to go through to show everything. So yes, there is plenty of graded items. There are loose figures, like loose stuff, which I'm going to do at the very, very, very end. There's some loose graded stuff that I'm kind of sprinkling throughout each day. A lot of them are mocks. I want to say there's like 150 mocks, right? So half the mocks are graded, half the mocks are not graded. There are vehicles, there are play sets, there are stuff from all different countries that I've never even seen or heard about before. So there is plenty. Some of the stuff is high grade, some of the stuff is low grade. So for instance, if you're looking for like a B-Wing, like the B-Wing vehicle, I think I have 5 of them here. 2 of them are graded. Wow. 2 of them are sealed. 1 of them is open box. So there is a little bit of everything for everyone if you're looking for something specific.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I saw the spreadsheet for that, and I was like salivating, thinking about, oh my gosh, I can add this for my collection. And then after a while, I was like, there is so much here that I would have to win the lottery to get everything that I want from this batch. All right, man, we've been going for 35 minutes. I think we need to start showing some of this stuff off, man, because that's why people are here. And thank you again to everyone who is watching live. Make sure to like this live stream, and also make sure to subscribe to our channels. And also, the most important thing for you guys is to go and join Rogue 5 Toys. The link for Rogue 5 Toys is in the video description for the Facebook page. You got apply, and then one of the admins, me, Chris, all the other 5 idiots on Talking Toys, one of us will admit you. So if you're having trouble, though, reach out to me by email,
Yes.
actionfiguregreater@gmail.com. If you're having trouble joining, because I hate to say this, but we need to say it, is that Chris maybe has some enemies of the state that are trying to infiltrate the group. So, if it looks like you just set up your Facebook account 45 minutes ago,
Yeah,
you might
just automatically deny you. Yeah, there's
yeah,
there's a lot of
deny you. So
there's a lot of scammers out there. There's a lot of frauds. If I see that your account is brand new, I'm not letting you in. It's just, if you message me before and you kind of say like, hey, who you are, no problem, I'll let you in. But there's just a lot of people that like, they'll steal my pictures for sale and then they list them on some like lower end like sporadic groups with my items, and then they'll even say that they're like me, and it's just a lot of confusion going on. So
yeah. So I want to make sure to say that, because we've had a couple of folks like Matthew C. and others who are not on Facebook that have asked to join and got denied, and then they reached out to me, and then I was able to join them. So if you're having trouble and you're not a Facebook guy, but you want to set up an account in order to start seeing these sales, make sure that you reach out to one of us first. actionfiguregreater@gmail. All right, man, let's fire away here. You got to show some of the incredible items. People have been waiting to see them.
You know what time it is.
Oh, here we go. Shamona.
You know what time it is. So I'm only going to go through the items that are currently in my master bedroom right now, because everything else is just all over the place and it's impossible to dig through boxes. So I pulled out some stuff. I'm going to go through them fast just to show you some more items. So this is a Lily Letty Boba Fett, graded 75.
Awesome.
There's actually a loose one too. There's a Lily Letty Jawa that got graded to 70, but there's also a loose version of that too.
Hey, while we're on the subject though of Lily Letty's, let's talk about that, because there was a pretty significant portion of your collection that you picked up that included what?
So
let's talk about the Lettys.
It's pretty much the whole Lily Letty set. I think there was one figure or one card back missing, and it's the card back with the figure. Here, I can actually show you right now.
So he's got, just to set the tone here, there was roughly 50 Lily Lettys. He's got this collection had the original card backs plus 100% complete figures. And these are the types of items that you can send into collector archive services for loose grading and have the card displayed behind it. I've got 5 or 6 of those myself.
I'll show you one of those too. So here's a Boba Fett card back. That's another Boba Fett Lily Letty. There's a peg stand that comes attached to the backing, so you can stand the figure up and then it just displays down like this, where you have the figure on the stand. It looks really, really cool. But I took the figures off and I bagged them because I didn't want them bouncing around and stuff like that. So this is the Boba Fett one. So
just that card back alone is like, crazy money. Crazy money.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's that card back go for? Like $1,500?
I would. How much?
1,500? 1,000?
Yeah, that was my exact number. I looked up in one of the groups, and one of them sold for 1,800. So it's going to be in that ballpark, man.
Yeah, if you want some Lily Letty stuff, definitely message me. It'll all be listed on the page regardless, but you can at least give me an idea of what someone may want or you're interested in, because there's a lot of stuff. So now this is a Darth Vader with the card back. So he's graded with the card back from CAS an 85 plus.
Wow, what an awesome! That's another card back that is extremely expensive. I'm salivating at the thought of buying that.
It's for sale, John. It's for sale, John.
It's amazing. Amazing.
I wanted to show you some more Lily Lettys because, like I said, there's about 50 of them here, but I took out 5. There's a Leia Bespin.
Wow.
And the card backs are actually all in very good condition. I know this card back is actually very hard to get also.
It is.
I took out my favorite, Prune Face.
Of course you did.
He might not be for sale. I'm going to check mine to see if mine's better, but that's the Prune Face one. And then obviously I have the Squid Head. This card back is fantastic. Like one of the nicest card backs I've seen for
Show the back on that one. This is the black return. So these are the negative card backs that I've talked about on my channel. Those that's the Returno too, isn't it? Is
Yeah,
it the Returno?
so this is the debut one for him. It's the Returno.
Wow. Yeah, that is a very expensive card.
I know that one goes for a lot of money. I've had a couple people message me about it, and it's preemptively sold. No, I'm kidding.
It did?
No.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I was just trying to piss people off. So I have next to me, I have a Tatooine skiff.
Wow. Holy moly.
This is, I believe this is still sealed. Again, I haven't gotten to this yet, but no, it's actually opened on one end. But everything pretty much I know is complete. So if it's not sealed, it's still complete with the box. Acrylic is with everything. So everything that you do buy, there is acrylic with it to keep it safer.
Hey, Chris, one question I think now's a good time to bring up is that I've gotten already in emails and PMs is, let's say you've got a Minton card, ESB, whatever, Dengar. When you list those, before you list them, are you looking for ink touch up and things like that? Because that's one concern that some people have had. Like, hey, if I'm planning on grading it, for example, it's going to get rejected if it's got ink touch up. Are you trying to check those out yourself before you list?
Of course, any seller should be doing that. So when I list a mock, you'll see that I take, I want to say, I think it's 26 pictures or 24 pictures per item, especially on a mock, because I show every single angle. And then I kind of go over the card and I kind of best describe from what I see. Then I go over the blister and I best describe that, whether it's clear, yellow, cracked, sealed, separating. And then I go over the figure. And the figure is basically if the figure is complete, meaning if it's cracked and a weapon fell out, if the figure is degrading, and also if the blaster is still taped, to the blister, because if it's not, how that gets, the score gets dinged by that. So I describe everything pretty much. I like to think 99%. So.
Perfect. That's what I needed. I had gotten that question several times, so I wanted to make sure to cover that.
Out of all the mocks that I've sold, I've never had a problem with one person ever. So,
awesome.
This is not a piece you see every day. This is a one man sand skimmer. This is like the Tri-Logo box from Power of the Force.
Fully sealed too. Wow.
This is fully sealed. So again, I mean, I don't really know off the top of my head how much this is worth, but how many of them do you really come across and you see? Not many. So for me, it was for me, it's just cool to hold it and take pictures of and stuff. And this is Max Rebo Band Tri-Logo.
Unbelievable.
And everything is still sealed in the baggie. The box is opened, but everything is sealed. The instruments, figures, everything is still sealed. And
That's incredible.
And the box is in really, really good condition. So
it is. It really is.
We got that. We got John's favorite wording.
Oh,
Darth Vader.
Come on, man.
Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. Now, John, do you want to tell everyone what this is? Because you like to say the words always.
What, the TIE Advanced?
No, you always like to go like, Le Guerre des
Oh, Le Guerre des Étoiles.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So, this is an awesome box. I haven't opened it up yet, but I'm sure it's complete. But
oh my God, the Meccano.
How many of those do you see with a box in that condition?
Never.
Just like a regular Scout blaster, again, still sealed, never opened. You don't. I mean, this is the first time I've ever actually sold one of these. I've never had one of these before, and I picked up some big collections.
Those are hot. If you guys happen to see my hands going underneath the screen there, just ignore that. Don't worry about it. If you know what I mean. I'm going to save this video for some special alone time later. Wow, is that big? Is that big enough?
Imperial Shuttle. This is graded an AFA 85.
What? An AFA 85? There was just a CAS 85 plus that sold on eBay for like $4,600. I mean, it was crazy.
So
AFA
just to let you
85.
know,
How's it?
I have 3 shuttles. There's 2 graded ones, and then there's like a opened one. So that's an 85 graded. Never seen one before. They do come up for sale, obviously. And then I think there's a 70 grade, and then there's just like an open box one that's really nice.
Unbelievable.
We got a shelf talker.
How cool is that?
Star
That's
Wars
graded too. Wow.
That is graded an 85 plus by CAS. So you got that.
That's very cool.
You got
Wizzy asked, what does that go for? I mean, like I just said, there was a CAS 85 plus Imperial shuttle that sold for over $4,000. It was like $4,600. Crazy.
here's a header, Star Wars header.
Wow, that's an amazing.
This is graded. What is this grade? This is graded an AFA 85 plus, and it's a action figure display header.
I mean, these are like Hakes type items, man. I mean, it's unbelievable.
So you got that. There's actually more headers and talkers, but they're in the other room, so we're not going to do that. I'll pull out some big boys.
Holy moly. Meccano. Death Star place.
Death Star playset Meccano. I mean, just a regular Death Star Palatoy one is worth ridiculous money and very, very hard to find. But look at the box. Like,
that's incredible. I mean, these are like timepieces. Now, talk a little bit more. I don't know if you brought them out, but do you have the others that were? Yeah, you do. Okay, never mind.
Hold on, John. Hold on, John.
Wait a second, John.
This is the Toll Toys one.
Toll Toys, Australian, New Zealand Toll Toys
Of the Death Star playset.
I mean,
Again,
give me a break.
The boxes. Now, if anyone has any idea alone, just the box alone for a Palatoy one, just the box is probably like $1,000 for just the box.
That's insane.
And you don't see them really come up for sale. When they do, you got like 5 people bidding on it or trying to buy it.
I've never seen that before though. That's incredible.
I've never seen it before, and I didn't even know that it existed. I had no idea. And then here is the regular Star Wars version Palatoy of the Death Star.
And then you also have the US, is that right?
I have no. So there's actually 2 of these. There's 2
Palatoys.
There's 2 Palatoys.
You got 2 Palatoys, a Meccano, and a Toll Toys. Death Star.
But again, like I said, it's like forget about the pieces. Forget about just look at the box. Like the boxes are immaculate. The guy was a big time collector, and he took care of his stuff, and he bought acrylics for everything. And that's why I always say, like, you don't have to be into grading. Everyone has their own opinion on grading. But if you're still collecting, you should still buy acrylic cases and just protect your stuff, because it just keeps it from, God forbid, anything ever happening. It keeps it in better condition.
Now, Shane asks, for these higher end, very rare pieces, will it be an auction format, deal or no deal? How do you plan on, or is it kind of just?
I mean, everyone knows my feeling on deal or no deal. I hate deal or no deal. I'm not a fan of that format. I like to do straight claims. I'm not there to, blood suck everyone out of their last dollar. I think it's good for 5% of items, meaning items that I've never seen before or sold before, stuff that there's just not really a value on. So those Death Stars will probably be a deal or no deal. Yes, I do, Keith. I ship worldwide all the time.
Chris, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
I want to say that most of my customers are probably actually international. And I do build a box here for about 80-something people right now. And build a box is basically when you buy an item, you pay as you go. I hold your item, and then the more you buy, you keep adding to it, and then I'll just combine shipping at the end whenever you say, hey, ship it, whether it's a month, a week. I've had guys sit here with stuff for a year. So it just depends on how long you want, how much you buy. And yeah, I ship it anywhere you want in the world. Doesn't matter.
And how do you handle the shipping costs, like in terms of reimbursement and all that?
Well, like I said, so if I sell an item, that's why I always put like $725 shipped in the USA or $700 add to box. Basically, what that means is if someone has a box with me, you're only paying the $700. You're not paying the $725. Now it goes in their box. Now later on down the line, when they say ship my box, you can have 9 items in there. But I just combined those 9 items, and shipping might be $25 for all 9 of those items instead of paying $25 for one item. It's
do they just send you a PayPal before you ship?
Oh, yeah. So then I pretty much will go on. I'll get them a shipping label. I show them the exact receipt of what it cost. I don't even make money on my boxes. I lose money on all of my boxes, all of my packing, all that stuff, because I buy that stuff monthly. I don't charge for that. I just charge them the exact dollar of what it costs to ship it, and then it saves them on shipping. So
yeah, that's huge. I just wanted to cover that because some of these folks haven't done a Build-A-Box before, and it's a great, especially if you're international like Keith. You know, it's just nice to okay, I picked up one item. Let's see what else comes up for sale. Hold it. Let's wait before we ship, and then you can just pay the shipping at the end, which is great.
So this is an Ewok battle wagon.
Holy moly!
This is graded in AFA 85. Still sealed, obviously.
Wow, that's incredible.
I've only sold one battle wagon before in the past. It was an open one. Never had a graded one before.
Gary Moore asked a good question. This is a good example with that Toll Toys Death Star playset. What are you going to do when there's zero comparable sales to figure prices out?
I'm actually glad that you actually asked that question because I didn't want to come across as like being a DICK before about not liking Deal or No Deal. The main reason why I don't like Deal or No Deal is that because people put up like the everyday common item that everyone knows it's worth $100. And you're sitting there and you're bidding 10, 20, 30, 40. Everyone knows it's $100. Just bid $100, call it a day, and like, let's move on. I don't want to wait 24 hours, 12 hours for a response. But Deal or No Deal is great when it comes to items like that because you just don't really know. Now, is there a certain number in mind that I want to make sure that I get to cover my cost? Yeah, of course. It doesn't necessarily mean it's worth, I'm going by what it's worth. I want to just go by and make sure I cover my costs. So items like that will be on Deal or No Deal. And I have like 6 or 7 people that are messaging me about this already. So if I put it up for a claim sale, the one guy claims, then I have the other 5 guys sending me messages angry how I was at work, I'm at my kid's basketball game. Like, I don't want to do that. I literally am trying to be fair to everybody, to give everyone a chance to say like, hey, if you want this, like, so that's why for those items, I will do Deal or No Deal. Now, my page may not be the best for it because everyone knows I do straight claims. So I'll take it to the Deal or No Deal page itself if I have to. But
yeah, I think it's good. Hey, one other question. I don't know if they're in your room, but Peter Lamb asked a couple of times about the Tri-Logo multi-pack sets. I don't know if they're in there or not, but those are worth showing if you got them.
So I have them, and it's not in this room. I was looking for them before because those are probably the most wanted items out of everything. I mean, if you give me 10 minutes, I can probably get them for you. It's up to you. It's just a lot of digging for me to get through and moving stuff around. But a lot of people have asked for those. And I specifically told Peter last night, something like that. That's going to be Deal or No Deal because there's too many people that are asking for it. And guys that are already throwing out like ridiculous offers. And I don't want to sell privately, and then there's 9 people that are waiting for me to list this thing for a week, and then it never comes. Then they just get mad at me. So I thought this was pretty cool. There goes what just fell out of the box? The Lily Letty squid.
Was it not the Pee-wee Herman box?
The Pee-wee Herman box. That's graded as 75 with the burgundy cape, but I can tell you that it's still good. Don't worry about it.
Pee-wee Herman is crapping out Lily Letty's.
I thought this was pretty cool. He threw in some Pee-wee Herman dolls. Now, these boxes, unfortunately, were immaculate when I left the house. They kind of got they got squashed in the shipping, unfortunately, but he's still sealed. They're still never been taken out of the box. But I just thought this was pretty cool that it was added into the collection. And unfortunately, he just passed away. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I don't know what these things are worth. Shipping might be worth more than what the item is itself. But I'm like, if I can list these on the page and someone that wants one gets it, I'm like, cool, absolutely. So,
And on that note, Chris, you did get some like A-Team and some other kind of random toy lines,
yes.
correct?
So I have a bunch of A-Team. I have a bunch of Mask. I have Chips, and I have what's the other one? Hold on a second. It's right here.
It's okay. Remember to like and subscribe to our channels. I would appreciate you guys would Hulk smash that like button for this video. That's really douchey of me to say that, but that's what we're going to do. Let's see what he's got here.
A ton of Chips, and then
Nice.
Dukes
Dukes
of
of
Hazzard.
Hazzard.
There's a lot
Nice.
of Dukes of Hazzard.
Rasco Pico Train. Very cool.
I have a box of Mox here.
Pampa Slap. I loved Mask too growing up. I'm a huge fan of Mask. Love it. Holy moly, look at these Mox.
So this is an extra large box from Home Depot, like I was saying. And it is filled.
And you got 30 of these.
It is filled to the top with Mox, and I have 30 of these boxes. So when someone says, hey, do you have a Stormtrooper ESB Mock? And I say, yeah, but I don't know yet. This is the reason, because I haven't gone through it all yet.
Yeah,
Eventually, I will go through it all, but like this is a Darth Vader 12 back, got graded an 80 plus.
Oh my God, I want that so bad.
I figured I'd just show over some of these cards because someone asked about grading and non-grading and stuff. And this is Snow Trooper.
My favorite card back, 48C or B, I guess.
Greedo, 85.
Wow.
That is a 20 back E. So again, there's a little bit of everything. There's graded, there's non-graded. No, here's
that 20 back. That 20 back Greedo, man, that's a stunner.
I was just saying Stormtrooper because he's like the first one that was on my mind. But here's a Stormtrooper. That's a 41A back with the survival kit offer.
Wampa Slap is signing off. Thank you again, Wampa, for supporting the channel and for the super chat. Really nice.
You got Han Solo, Empire Strikes Back, 45 back.
Wizzy, thank you for watching when you could and for the super chat. What was that one again? I'm sorry, the 45 back, Han?
Han Solo 45 back with the display arena offer.
Yeah, good one.
I'm just going through a couple of these here. Here's a Luke X. This is actually a Palatoy card, and this is a 85 grade.
Oh my God!
Look at that Palatoy.
That's unpunched Palatoy UKG 85%.
Yep.
Oh my God!
So that is a awesome piece.
That's terrible.
I mean,
Keith Guppy asked, how much are you keeping? That's always the dilemma when I've purchased big collections. And this is an important question. So fire away there.
So the answer to that is that I am going to put on the side items that I'm interested in and items that I want. And I'm going to leave them to the very end and sell the other stuff and just see how I do. Because there's so many pieces and we're talking large numbers that I can't keep stuff if I'm losing money on this stuff. So, I'm going to wait to the very end.
That last one was a 40. I know because I've been salivating over it. That was a 47 back, free 4-lam offer, clear blister, unpunched, IG88 graded CAS 80. I remember that one.
You explained it better than I did. Yep, that's.
I want that one so bad. I want that one so bad. Nick Franzita, Nick Franzita. Just a $2 super chat. Are there any Burger King Star Wars glasses in this haul? And this is an ongoing private joke because Nick's a buddy of mine from high school. I've known him for 30 plus years. And he said, I got these Star Wars glasses. They're from Burger King. What are they worth? And I was messing with him. I was like, oh man, those are worth $200 a piece, man.
Yeah.
You gotta sell them. And they're like $5. Rare, super rare. Thank you, Nick. That was nice of you.
12 back R2D2.
Wow. That's a pricey one.
That's I think a B back.
12 B back. Okay. You don't usually see the Bs that much.
And then again, you just Han Solo, Death Squad Commander, 20
Hmm.
backs. There's a
Man.
lot here. Like I said, I could keep going for a very, very, very long time.
It was over 100 mint on cards, I think. I mean,
There's
from my
there's
rough number.
there was well over 100, yeah.
Yeah.
And they pretty
Yeah.
much all came with acrylic. So the acrylic will either be added on. So like if you buy the mock, you can add on, I think, like $15 and buy an acrylic. I know the acrylics usually go for a little bit more than like $23 for a brand new one. I think I'm just going to sell them for $15 just to get them out. And so
One other thing we haven't maybe talked about that much is the fact that it's not just mocks, it's not just these Lettys or even some of the stuff we've seen, but if my recollection says there were like mint in sealed box vehicles as far as the eye can see,
So
beyond just the Imperium Shot.
I would say most of the collection was vehicles and play sets. That's really the collection. Yeah. Mox was just like secondary to the vehicles and play sets. And so if you're interested in an X-Wing, a TIE Fighter, Imperial Shuttle, anything, pretty much there's multiple. Y-Wing. So if you want a Y-Wing that graded, there's a Y-Wing graded. If you want one sealed, there's one sealed. If you want one opened, there's one open. There's, as I said, there's a little bit of everything. So
it's unbelievable.
I mean, if you want to keep the audience busy and I can look for those packs, it's completely up to you.
If you think you can do it quick, let's do it. And in the meantime, I'll just kind of chat with folks. Send in your questions. Yeah. Send in your all's questions, guys, while Chris goes to pull out those tri-logo multi-packs, because I would love to show those on the channel, since I will never, ever have the money to buy one of those. I mean, they're pretty incredible. He's going to dig around and see if he can find them. But make sure to like this video and to subscribe to our channels. And as another reminder, in the video description is a link to Rogue 5 Toys. And, if you're not on Facebook, you might want to set up a burner account and just email me, actionfiguregrader@gmail.com. Let me know what your Facebook name is. Include a photo on your Facebook profile, and then I'll try to get you in there. But Keith Guppy, he asks, are there any loose graded vehicles and ships? Yes. I know that there's that AT-ST Walker. I saw a few others kind of in there. There's some loose die casts that were graded. And I know he's got some mint and seal box vehicles. He's got some that are complete unused contents type thing. And Gary's got another question. Has Chris or me ever sold anything over Hakes? No, I have not. Chris has not, to my knowledge, either. But I have had some subscribers do that. I did have a buddy of mine named David who sold some really high-end 12 backs in the last Hakes auction. And he was pretty happy with the prices. He was obviously happy with how Hakes handled their auction process. But they're expensive, right? It's the trade-off versus selling to someone like Chris is that with Hakes you're paying 25% commissions on it, and you got tax reporting, you got shipping and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of risks there, I think. And I'm not trying to disparage Hakes. I think they're great, but there is some added expenses where I think at the end of the day, after you account for Hakes auction commissions and everything, at the end of the day, you're probably going to make more money selling it to somebody like Chris. But that's just my personal opinion on it. Chris, you want to call a day on that?
I don't have them. Yeah, there's 8 boxes up here. They're not in the boxes. I don't know where they are, so
it's okay. It's okay. I think we've been going for about an hour, and I just want to say thanks to everyone who watched it. One quick question from Warren Hendricks. This is what I was saying, though, Warren. If you don't have a Facebook account, this is really, they're going to be listed on Rogue 5 Toys first on Facebook.
That's it. Yeah.
You probably need to if you're interested in these items and you're seriously wanting to buy some of this stuff. Unfortunately, you're probably going to have to set up a Facebook account. Just make a burner account and call yourself Warren G. Regulators mount up, and then try to join the group, and then one of us will get you in there.
This is what I tell everyone. I know people don't like Facebook, and I know people don't like social media. I didn't have Facebook for a very long time. I just got on Facebook myself 6 years ago, and I only got on because John kept harassing me to get on. I don't like social media either. So if you want to, just make a fake account, a fake name. You don't have to fill out any information whatsoever that's real, but message me or John or any of the other 4 guys from the Idiots Talking Toys and say, hey, this is Paul. I'm going to open up an account and it's going to be called Doors End. I don't know. So then when I see the name say Doors End, I'll let you in, and then that's it. We're done. So
yeah, we've already done that for some folks.
Yes.
Not a big deal.
And I know people don't want to do that, but it's only going to be for sale on Facebook. That's it.
Yep. Gary Moore asked, did you get any Harbert mocks?
No, there's actually no Harbert mocks. There's some Takara. There's
I know there's a Java Meccano Jawa square card.
Yes, there's a Meccano Jawa square card. That's, definitely no Harbart that I can think of.
Okay.
Actually,
well, thank you everyone for watching. What's this?
David Grindstaff actually sent me the shirt. I don't know if he's watching, but David, I still watch the shirt. I mean, I still wear it.
David G is a good dude, man. I love David, and I just want to say thanks to everyone who watched. We'll probably wrap it up here, but again, I know it's not everyone's favorite thing, Facebook, but if you're going to be interested in these items, it's going to be a straight claim sale for most of this stuff, deal or no deal on the very rare stuff. But the way it works is he posts it for sale on Rogue 5, and the first person to write claim in the comments. And this is not, Chris is a good dude. These prices are not going to be eBay prices, right? They're going to be very fairly priced stuff.
It's very hard to be exact on when we're talking 10,000 items, which is pretty much what this is. I always try and be fair market, under fair market, because I want the stuff to move. I'm not a store. I don't operate out of a store. I don't have to fill up shelves and pegs. I'm out of my house. And as you can see, my wife doesn't want an Imperial shuttle sitting on the bench in front of our bed while we sleep. She does not want that. So it's priced to kind of move.
Mike who Cheese Harry, he asked, did you have any graded Wampas?
I have a loose graded Wampa. I have a sealed box Wampa, and then I have a box Wampa that's opened. So yes.
And Mike H, I can tell you that he's got a ton of Power of the Force. I mean, there's a lot. Okay, so you just got to get on there. But thanks to everyone who watched.
I haven't gotten to mocks yet. I listed 1 or 2 mocks. I haven't gotten to any of them yet. I haven't taken any pictures yet. So none of the mocks will be up anytime soon.
There's definitely not a Black Letty Wampa, is my guess.
Actually, yes. Actually, the funny part is there actually is a Black Letty Wampa.
What?
I swear to you, it's a fake one, but I have it.
Oh yeah,
it's downstairs in the box, but I actually do have one.
I mean, Jeff would know whether this is even, Jeff's like probably one of the most knowledgeable people in Star Wars. I'm still not convinced that it's real, but you see these old grainy photos showing like, who knows? All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. And I just appreciate everyone watching. Thank you to everyone who gave super chats. Really, really kind of y'all. And thanks to Shane for setting up this simulcast with 5 Idiots Talking Toys. And we'll be back. Make sure to join up on Rogue 5 Toys. Chris, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a lot of fun hearing the backstory for this epic haul and for you showing off some of these epic items.
I appreciate, as always, you having me on, being my friend. You help me out a lot when it comes to stuff like this. And
you're making it up.
And just pretty much everyone who always watches and listens and helps support the page. We all appreciate it, especially our podcast, 5 Idiots Talking Toys. It means a lot to all of us. It really does. So,
well, we'll be on soon. Be back soon for another live stream, I'm sure. But Chris, thank you again, and thanks to everyone who watched. And we're going to sign off now.
Thank you, guys.